Alright. There, is it actually working this time? Boom, magical. Alright, well, thanks, Pete. Well, welcome everybody. I tried streaming last night for the first time in a long time, and didn't have audio going. I mean, I was just talking to myself for the most part, because right now I'm kind of using this to just, I don't know, not like therapy, but it feels good to have an excuse to talk to myself, you know? Nobody's going to watch this, but I can come for myself and saying, well, I was streaming, so I'm not insane. Man, goddamn it, JJ. I kind of want to turn him off. God damn it, JJ. I'm probably going to turn him off. I've last night I mentioned, I've played through this game I never 100%, I 100%ed it to where you get that magical outfit where the ability is just, you instantly kill everyone, but you get one shot. But I played through enough for that, but not to get all the achievements. God damn it. But, I'm also going to be kind of probably talking over the characters, because this isn't really so much proper Let's Play of just me shooting the shit. Because, like, I'm just doing this to just talk. I've beaten this game 13 times, but I lost all my data due to some BS with having a factory reset my PlayStation, which absolutely blew. Because that was like... I'll let this go, since this shouldn't be a long one. Also, I mentioned last night how I hate Mary Jane in this game. I like all the other female characters, but sweet mother of God, Mary Jane is just an irredeemable piece of shit. It's like, they try and do this whole thing of making her a strong, independent woman and all that, which is great and all, but the way they do it actively makes her to be, like, almost as bad as the antagonists. Like, last night, I wasn't recording my audio, but there's a quest, or a mission you do, and she finds out that right now in the campaign of the game there's this big bioweapon, if you don't know what's going on, that's been stolen, and she receives information about a terrorist attack on a subway station, or that they're going to do something there, and she, to spite Spider-Man because she thinks he was being an asshole because he ruined a lead she was on by stepping in because he saw someone holding her at gunpoint, and she got pissy at him for this, which I can almost somewhat understand in some universe, but she actively does not tell the superhero that there is going to be a fucking terrorist attack. She blatantly, he asks her, she hears about this, and towards the end of the conversation they're having, he's like, so did you hear anything else? She's like, no, I didn't. And she leaves out about a fucking terrorist attack. And because she didn't fucking tell Spider-Man, a ton of people could have gotten hurt, and the terrorists easily invade the subway station that they're attacking. Because fucking surprise, surprise, Mary Jane has no superpowers, but they still try and make her this independent character by just making her nearly kill herself repeatedly and getting angry every time Spider-Man has to save her ass. Because she doesn't do, like, oh, I'm going to be a fucking reporter and I'm going to investigate deep into this. She goes into suicidal situations when it is completely unnecessary. Like, I get wanting to help, but you're friends with Spider-Man. Swallow your pride and realize it's not because he's a man, it's the fact that you are literally a human and he's basically not anymore. You cannot bench press a minivan, you cannot dodge bullets mid-flight, you can only do human things. Same way for the police. Like, they have to have Spider-Man help them, because guess what? They can't fight all this shit. But Mary Jane just actively gets pissy at Spider-Man for being a superhero. Also, her and Miles have those absolutely horrible side quests that if you haven't seen them, it's like, hey, you know you're being Spider-Man and having fun with that? Well, we're going to stop that in the middle of the game, and here's a quest where you can't fight, you can't do anything other than sit there and just cower. Towards the very end, Mary Jane gets like a taser in the last few missions that you play as her, but you just sneak through an area without getting seen or you die instantly. And even with the taser, she has to, like, get right up behind him. It's fucking... It sucks. Oh god. Oh, I love this game. I had to gripe about that because, like, she actively. There's two other female characters that are introduced in the main game, but they're also in the DLC, and oh my god, I think they're fucking great. Even though Sable has kind of the same issue with Mary Jane, I mean, she screws things up a bit, but also her home is at war, and the supplies she needs to win that war are actively being stolen, so she's like stupidly desperate to get them back. So I get the whole being reckless thing. And Black Cat, she double crosses you, but she actually like redeems herself and is generally actually a kind of a cool person with Spider-Man. Same for Sable. But Mary Jane, just god, she pisses me off. They, in my opinion, they ruined her by trying to do the whole independent female thing. And it's cool if they want to do that, but they did it by making her fucking suicidal like a lemming. And it's actually insane. Oh, I thought that was the sword guy, damn it. Oh, it was just the guy with the shield, okay. Actually, I don't know, there's obviously different types of enemies as you can see, but there's a type with swords that are pretty strong, and it takes two of the little focus bars you have to take them out, like the heavies. Get fucked. I know. I kind of want to change my suit power, but I don't have any. Since I used to have every suit, obviously, because I'd 100%ed it, but since I had to factory reset, I hadn't saved any of my data online, which I highly advise you do. But because I hadn't done that, I lost literally everything over the past, I think, 6 or 7 years since I had this, because I got this a week after release.
I've got the place locked down.
Someone was mad that their kid was playing it too much, which, poor bastard, but yeah. Peter and Mary have all this witty dialogue and all that, but every time it comes down to brass tacks and the cutscenes, she sabotages everything. Also, at one moment I gotta double check, make sure that it says it's still going. Last stream my audio cut off and I was so mad. But yeah, she actively sabotaged. Like she could have gotten fucking people killed. It's not like I'm independent, I'm gonna do this on my own. She actively didn't tell someone with the power to stop it about an armed assault on a subway with thousands of innocent people. Like, she could have killed someone. They go way over the deep end with making her independent and to just making her so irrationally stubborn, she's willing to put people's lives on the line for her pride, which I am not okay with. I don't think. Like, none of the other... I can't see either of the other female characters doing it. Sable, she puts anything she... Well, no, actually. At the beginning, she straight up is just, like, bombing civilian areas, so that's fucked up. But, like, it's still... Her, that's kind of her thing. She's a fucking commando psychopath, and it's kind of hilarious. Oh, God, I'm turning JJ off. I'm sorry. I love him, but I've heard all these so many times, I can't. God damn it, please tell me that that's saved. Do I have to just wait for this one to be over? Yep. Some fucking lady being like... Can you imagine, though, actually, going off of what she said, how terrifying it would be to, like, get out of the shower or be walking around your house naked and have a superhero just go screaming past your bedroom? Like, I'd freak the fuck out. What's this? Oh, cool. Yeah, the little collectibles in this game are pretty great too. All I've done so far is rant about Mary Jane, but that's just because that was like my biggest gripe about this game. Her and Miles' missions are pretty bad, just like hers, but him as a character I love. I can totally see him being the next Spider-Man, and apparently I heard tell, this might just be rumors, of a video game where Miles, like where you play as Miles as the next Spider-Man, because for those of you who don't know, in the comics, a series of events happens that I don't know exactly. I know the end result that I'm not going to spoil, but Miles ends up taking Spider-Man's place as this little teenage baby Spider-Man, like when Spider-Man first started. Because in this, you're playing like buff, I think like 20-something-year-old, got, well, not a good paying job, but a good job, because it's like really helpful. And he's been doing this for years, and he's got a lot of practice, and he's done all this shit. And Miles is just baby man. Like, at the end of one of the DLC, you get to take Miles out for practice. Well, they start to. And it ends with both of them leaping off the Empire State Building, and Miles just screaming his head off, flailing his arm wildly because he's afraid he's going to die because he doesn't know what he's doing. And if there's a game about baby Miles, like that age of Miles, that would be kind of fucking hilarious. I'm not going to lie. That could be really fun. But other than those side quests and Mary Jane as a character, outside of the, in the DLC, I don't think she was very bad. She was actually pretty level-headed with an event that goes down between Spider-Man and Black Cat, or at least they think that goes down. She was pretty level-headed, which who? Ah, okay. I was happy about that, but in the story, she's an asshole. And both her and Miles, their missions kill the game. Like, I actively put last night, I didn't do anything, but for the longest time I just swung around, because I'm still doing that, because I really, really badly don't want to do any more Mary Jane missions. No, I ended up doing it, but I actively dread doing her missions. Oh, fuck. Because they piss me off so bad. Same for Miles. Every time I know one is coming, I just want to stop playing. Or I want to do everything I can to put it off. Who's left? Oh, hi. You know what? Oh, I never made them. Get fucked. Yeah, right now it's a quest for Otto, who in this game I also really like, because they made him redeemable, I guess. Excuse me one moment. Pardon me. Oh god, that hurt. Oh, son of a bitch. Ugh. But apparently, and oh yeah, I forgot doing the Demon Hideout. I have a bad memory too, so I'm just going to be rambling, like, from subject to subject. This is mostly just me talking to myself here. But, they fucking made him redeemable. I guess in the Sam Raimi ones, I think they're the Sam Raimi ones. I think Spider-Man 2? I'm only going to stream for a half hour. I've got work this morning and I want to go get something to eat. I just wanted to shoot the shit for a bit. But in the Sam Raimi movies, apparently, I think I remember him being pretty cool. I also remember him talking to his arms like they had a mind of their own, like they were sentient, which would have been interesting. In this, it's a whole different debacle. Like, in this, he's got a degenerative disease, like, not Huntington's, but one of the ones where your body, it might actually be Huntington's. It's one of the ones where your body starts, like, shutting down. And it no longer functions properly, and he has there's a scene where they're developing a bionic arm, and he is trying to control it, and his hands start violently shaking because obviously the nerves are starting to fail, so he can't really control his own body anymore, and it's really sad because it's like, oh shit, he's a really nice guy and he's really smart, but his body is just breaking down. And with these arms he's building now, he's like. Earlier in my other stream, there was a scene where he's sitting there and he's getting really, really excited because he's just finished these arms. Well, he's got the idea for these arms, and he's like, hey, this could change everything, because he's talking about how his body, and he's like, he sounds insane, like he's manic. Whenever sometimes you'll see somebody get proposed to or whatever, and they start like breaking down because they just are so fucking happy. I'll let this go. Haha, comedy. But he just starts going. He's like a man. He's so excited. He's almost hysterical. And I feel terrible because the way he does it is, I don't know if this is a real science or not. This is a comic book game, so I wouldn't be surprised if it totally isn't. But with these arms, he says that the best way to make these work is if he hooks them directly into his spinal cord, I believe. I think he might have said neural cortex? which I thought was at like the base of the brain. No, that's the... Fuck. I did a little bit. We did a little bit of this in high school over the brain and the different parts of it, but obviously I went to a redneck school, so they didn't teach you shit. Because if it hooked into the spinal cord, I couldn't see that affecting the brain, but I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But he says he'll hook it directly into his nervous system, basically, and that's his way of getting around to instantly, because they've been having issues with it the whole time. And he's like, you know what? Instead of making arms to fix people, how about I just make a system to make the human body better than it ever was before? And that's what he does with his own body, and it backfires, because when he hooks it directly into his nervous system, it says, they directly show a little magazine saying that it like makes them prone to manic episodes, like it could cause serious mental issues, which, you know, bad. How asshole. And he, during all this, throughout the game, Osborn, the mayor of the city, is trying to fuck him over, because apparently they used to work together. And that's also why his body is breaking down, because they used to work together in a lab, and Otto was exposed to chemicals that damaged his body. So he blames Osborn for that, and Osborn, like, shuts down his lab, which is genuinely just trying to research prosthetics to help people. And Otto just, like, ruins his, not Otto. Osborn repeatedly ruins everything he does in life over and over again. And by the end of the game, when he attaches these, he's already angry at Osborn, and these arms just make him more prone to go psychotic. And he just... there's a... Actually, no, I think we're about to get to that point where the scene is where he snaps, but he's just... He can't take it anymore, and he goes insane. And I feel really bad for him, because it's like... He's just a man who's repeatedly lost just everything he's worked for. And he is at the edge of his rope, and he has these arms that help him work better. And Peter is his lab assistant in this, and he's like, Doc, you can't do this is way too dangerous. And Otto is like, yeah, I guess you're right, and is really depressed because he thought he'd found the solution. And so Peter's like, no, I'm sorry, but you can't use these are way too dangerous. So again, he is just a desperate man, and Oswald pushes it further and further and further. Oscar? I honestly keep forgetting his name. Harry's dad. The Green, in the, not in this game, but in the movies, he's Green Goblin, who is one of my favorite characters, because I think is it Willem Dafoe who played him? I don't know their names very well. Okay, these guys with the fucking whips, I hate. Oh, god damn it. I didn't want you. No! God damn it. Fine. Alright, you know what? We'll do it this way. There we go. God, I love this game. But, yeah. It's a whole thing, and it's fucking amazing. I'm sorry, I'm rambling about these specific topics. Last night I was going on about different things, but I woke up like an hour ago, so I'm not fully here yet. But yeah, I love him as a character. I love so much about this game. Just Mary Jane in the main campaign. I'll listen to this real quick, I guess.
You didn't get too carried away, did you? What they did was horrible, but you're not.
Odd. But, they made Mary Jane an asshole in the campaign, and I guess they made her a little better in the DLC. More understanding. And then, her and Miles have the worst missions in the game that just fucking butcher the pacing. But other than that, I adore this game. I don't play games for very long. This is, like I said, this is my 13th. Now, I've played this through 13 times before. And the only other game I've ever really done that with is Dark Souls. And Skyrim sometimes, but I have to mob the hell out of it for that. But this, I can just swing for hours and hours on end, and it just feels good. And I would be so... I never got to play Spider-Man 2, and I heard the web swinging in that was still a bit better. It was more momentum-based. So you could get a lot more speed. But with this, they've gotten, like, everything in the city, the whole thing. You can parkour over everything, like through fire escapes, pipes, cracks in between the frames that hold up water towers, everything under the sun, they have a animation to parkour over, and it's amazing. Right now, I'm just going around doing these because I don't want to go into a cutscene, because I want to skip cutscenes, but not the ones with early auto, because I actually really like seeing him before he, you know, goes insane. Because he was a really fun character in my opinion. What's up, man? Also, you get some, I would say, overpowered abilities towards the end of the game. Oh, I didn't mean to stick into that car, but that works. There's one left over here. Also, these animations, you'll see them over and over and over again, but for me, they still feel just really satisfying to just say, you know what? Fuck this guy in particular super fucking hard. He is going to fucking die now. Because, one thing I'd like to point out, obviously Spider-Man has super strength, hardcore, but he has to pull all his punches like a lot of superheroes. Vomit.
Criminals, because I can't keep it straight. I know I did your job for you, but no need to pay me. Action is my reward.
I really want to fucking know how it came about. Oh, new suit. Oh, this is the comic suit. Like, the spirit of vengeance, or the Ghost Rider, is in Spider-Man. Because, from what, I don't know a ton about Ghost Rider. I've seen a lot of, like, stories, but I don't know the, like, proper lore. But the most I do know is, like, it's kind of a Hulk situation, although I guess he has more control over it than the Hulk, where the spirit, where the Ghost Rider is its own thing. Like, it's its own entity inside of, fuck, I can't remember his name. But it's its own, like, separate entity. So I assume there could be an alternate universe where Spider-Man became the Ghost Rider. Unless that is just like an undead Spider-Man. But the skull is on fire, so that'd be my indication. Although, honestly, I don't know. It's not like the orange flame that the Ghost Rider always seems to have. So I'm not entirely sure. All I do know is I fucking love Ghost Rider as well. He's like character in the MCU period. I just absolutely fucking think he's badass. Which, I don't know if it's considered like that edgy kid phase, but it's like, this is a character just so mega OP, he can pin down the Hulk, which he's done before. Like, he has held the Hulk, which, by Marvel rules, the Hulk has what is to be considered an infinite strength. Like, apparently one time he punched so hard, it went through multiple dimensions, which is fucking insane. I learned this, by the way, from a channel called Fact Fiend, F-A-C-T-F-I-E-N-D, 2 separate words. I'd totally check them out. It's Fact Fiend with Carl Smallwood, and oh my god, their videos are amazing. But with Hulk, apparently he can punch so hard he can punch through.
There's a weird cosplay thing going on, or it's the demons?
Could be both. They need social lives too.
Well, let's see if I can make some new friends. Or enemies.
I'm not gonna do the whole trying to stealth things up. Oh. God, oh, sorry, I zoned out. I almost forgot that I'm fucking streaming. I'm not used to doing this. I've streamed a handful of times over a long period of time. Like, the last time I streamed was fucking 7 months ago, nearly a little over half a year ago. And, in that, I was just shooting the shit as well. I was rambling about, I got into politics because I was like, oh man, I live in a bad time, and then now everything has gone down as it has transpired recently. And, yeah, I wasn't fucking wrong, I guess. I didn't know how right I was, though, because I was like, oh, I went back and watched that, and I was going on about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Get fucked. Oh, I love Spider-Man. But yeah, I went back and watched that. It was rambling about like politics and also some issues we were having at a hospital I worked at. I listened back to it, and honest to God, I almost sound racist. I mean, I would feel bad, but I am. It was an issue with somebody at our hospital that I still don't know if the person is dead or not. The day after, I think I still saw him in a wheelchair, which is like, oh fuck. But long story short, there was a guy nearly dying, and there's this whole thing with this group of people, apparently from another country, that come to the U.S. even though they don't need to. At least that's what a lady told me from, not Cuba, somewhere around Cuba. Nobody in the hospital liked them, large in part because they didn't like working, but they didn't really speak English all too well, like a lot of people don't, so they didn't know what anyone was saying. But it became an issue when a dude was lying in the floor, and I hope he's not dead. But it was like a good 20 minutes of us trying to help him, but no one could, because nobody spoke his language. And all the people who did speak his language had been on break for 2 hours, because they just hadn't come back. But it was a bad thing, and I was rambling about that. I hope that dude's okay, I really do, because he's a guy who I saw a few times, and he seemed to be working pretty hard, actually. He worked in the kitchen, I think. But I was rambling about that, and then I went on to politics, I think, towards the end of it. Because I was like, America bad right now, and then, now the fucking country is at war with itself. So I was like, you know what, I feel like streaming again, because fuck, I need to just let steam off. Because if not, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Because shit has gone insane. My life, for the most part, has been going better than it has before. Got a job now. I can, for the first time, I wish I could skip this. For the first time in like a year, in 2 years, a year and a half, I'd say, I will be able, hopefully sometime next month, to actually go grocery shopping. Because for the longest time, as soon as I got out of high school, I've just been having to mooch off of people because I haven't been able to afford hardly rent, let alone food. Build it. Okay, I get the whole building a case against the demon things, but they are actively a terrorist organization that in the middle of the streets has just on many, many, many occasions just started setting off bombs. Like, set terrorist attacks in the middle of the street. I don't think you need to build a case. They're building one pretty damn well on their own, I'd have to say. Also, what time is it? We got a couple more minutes. I don't know. I think I might start streaming again a bit more. Tomorrow, I might play some Warface or something, or I might when I get home. Because I really have been getting into Warface. It's like, it's kind of almost like Call of Duty, but it's got a few different classes, and it's got wave defense and stuff. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot. Especially since there's a class called the SED, which is just like a Terminator with an infinite ammo MG fucking light machine gun, and it's fucking great. Also, they can get a minigun, but I don't have access to that yet, which I really wish I did. Oi. But it's really fun, and there's a good chance I'll play that tonight. I haven't played that in a few days. Last night I took the time to finish the DLC, which is where I got this outfit. Oh, I got you, dude. That's not what I wanted. Whoop. I got you, my dudes. Alright, yeah. But I think I'm gonna save real quick, and then I think I might cut it here today. Oh, sweet. Nope. Yeah, but I beat the DLC last night to get this. The Iron Spider. Is this the Mark II? I think. I'll double check real quick. The Iron Spider. Oh, just the Iron Spider armor. So I guess this is technically the Mark I. Also, yes, the most OP ability in the game. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits here. I'm gonna start streaming a little bit more. I think it's therapeutic to get to just ramble. Next time it'll probably be, if I play Spider-Man, it'll probably be less about Spider-Man and me just rambling even more, just shooting the shit. Maybe I'll talk about. I think one time I mentioned while streaming I might just look things up to talk about, which could be something I'd enjoy, or just talk about shit I know about the MCU or history. I might just talk about history. I just want to talk, and history is like my jam. I fucking love history events, especially military history. Like, I might talk about the Attack of the Dead Men, which was a huge thing that I loved. But I think I want to call it quits for here, and I might stream some more tomorrow. I probably will, even after work today, maybe. But have a good evening, morning, noon, night, brunch, breakfast, whatever the hell it may be, wherever the hell you are. Have a good day, and you know, just have fun, I guess.